Welcome to NBC's American Studies Primetime Radio Classics. Tonight, we have a classic American story with a twist. Tonight's story includes a young immigrant woman named Anita and a mysterious young man. America, the land of dreams. I can soar here. There are no restraints. I've read up on it. The government enables everyone to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Oh, I brought my suitcase.
Excuse me, young lady. I feel obligated to inform you that those books don't mean what you think they mean. That's the irony behind the American dream. You can read all the stories you want and pull any theme you want from them, but you can't argue with the history. I saw you had Huck Finn in your bag. Let's discuss. Do you think anyone in that book really achieves their American dream?
Of course. Look here, Jim says it. Pretty soon I'll be a-shouting for joy, and I say, it's all on accounts of old Huck. I is a free man, and I could never been free if it hadn't been for Huck. Huck done it. Jim won't ever forget you, Huck. You's the best friend Jim ever had, and you's the only friend Jim's got now. Look, he's made a friend with the slave. I mean, that's so against the slavery laws. They break society's ideals of what is morally correct. Huck reaches his dream because he achieves the human kindness he believes all people can achieve.
You have to look outside of the book. Two people becoming friends doesn't negate the fact that 3,950,528 of Black Americans' constitutional rights were violated due to being seen as unequal under the law and enslaved. The 3/5 Act is outlined in Article 1, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution. Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding to the whole number of free persons, 3/5 of all persons. Do the countless lynchings, slave plantations, and suffering people disappear because of one friendship? No, and Huck even knows that. In the end, Huck realizes how cruel people are. It was a dreadful thing to see. Human beings can be awful cruel to one another. He realizes his dream is naive because no matter the reason for the oppression, people will always see each other as less than another. His dream is unachievable because the only way it would ever be obtained is if there was no more racism or hate in humans, which is impossible.
Oh, well maybe they couldn't find their American dream, but look at the youngers in A Raisin in the Sun. Mama gets to move into the house and Benita gets to go be a nurse in Africa.
Well, yes, you're right. They do get the house, but at what cost? The discrimination from the white community is pressing. Carl Lindner embodies the masses' belief of inequality when he says, "What do you think you are going to gain by moving into a neighborhood where you just aren't wanted and where some elements, well, people can get awfully worked up when they feel their whole way of life and everything they've ever worked for is threatened. Even the Constitution is rigged to give whites privileges and disable the minorities. The idea that blacks did not deserve the right to have dreams or deserve to achieve their aspirations marginalizes the community beyond belief."
The civil rights protesters, they achieved their American dream by standing up for what they believe in.
Civil rights advocates poured their blood, sweat, and tears into their protests. Equality for all was their drive. Yet even after the Emancipation Proclamation,
the Negro still is not free. The life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. The Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. The Negro is still languished in the corners of American society.
while they managed to do a lot for themselves and future generations, they did not fully achieve their goals. Look at America today. There is still a lot of inequality and racism. The American dream is not achievable anymore, especially for minorities. After 9/11, the American society has repeated its civil rights disaster, just with a different race. The majority is stereotyping anyone who looks Middle Eastern as Muslim, disregarding the complex differences between the cultures of that area of the world. And the majority turns away its head because after the first blush of sin comes its indifference. Don't you see? The American dream is destined to fail. Minorities are not given the same advantages as the majority to achieve their dreams. These people fought so hard to end inequality, some even paying with their lives, and yet they could not completely achieve it, even though everyone is written to be equal in the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. These people did not achieve their dreams because they will never be satisfied until equality prevails, and it hasn't.
It's starting to seem like you're right. Maybe coming here was a mistake.
Look at The Great Gatsby. All the characters end up dead with deferred dreams, or both. For example, Gatsby devoted his whole life to his dream of making Daisy love him again, and in the end, he was murdered trying to protect her. Nobody achieved anything in the end, so we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. The entire 20s was a death sentence for the American dream. The new inventions of the time made people's dreams more complex and harder to achieve. The new accessibility to goods created a system where success was measured monetarily. The invention of credit added to this by giving people false hope for a lifestyle of luxury they couldn't achieve and putting them into debt. So many dreams were crushed because people became greedy.
Every point you've made is true. But that's the past. Try looking at America nowadays. It seems like everyone is flourishing and finding their dreams.
The dream is based off of wealth and appearances. Even if you are able to reach that goal that you've set for yourself, human nature will find something else to be discontent with and can never truly be happy. People are constantly searching for what they don't have because of the belief of inevitable success.
You're right. The American dream is unachievable. Look at Death of a Salesman. Willie never reaches his dream. All that he ever strove for was to be well-liked and to make a name in his business, and he never got there. He thought he had so many friends, but even when he died, no one came to his funeral. All he had was his family and kids, but his kids didn't even really want much to do with him, since he was always pushing his own dream onto them. I guess in the end, his whole family knew that his dream was the reason he died. Even his son Biff said, he had the wrong dreams. All wrong. He never knew who he was. The man didn't know who he was. Every book I've read is conclusive to the fact that the dream encompasses people and takes away their ability to live a simple life. Once they put their sights on something, it doesn't allow them to focus on anything else. And in the end, it strips a person of all the happiness in their life. Coming here was the wrong decision. I should just give up on my dreams and turn around. This is hopeless. I feel pathetic for having only realized it just now. Thank you for tuning into NBC's American Studies Primetime classes.